Good evening. I'd like to call the Town Board meeting of July 22nd, 2025 to order. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence to remember those who served our country in the past and for those who continue to protect our country today. The record, the publication of the official notice?
Yes.
Okay. So at this time, we welcome public comments on extending the BESS moratorium for 6 months. And
Oh, I didn't put that up
that's
today.
okay. Is anybody here to speak about the BESS moratorium? No? Okay. Then, I'll wait a couple of minutes and see if anyone's coming in. I don't think anyone else is going to come. Okay, I'm going to make a motion to close the public hearing on extending the BESS moratorium for 6 months.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And at this point,
It's okay.
I would like to invite Heather Cooper up for a presentation.
Good evening. My name is Heather Cooper. I am a lifelong resident. I am also a commissioner and a volunteer with the Beekman Fire Company for 34 years. I joined because I wanted to give back, and I had no idea how it would change my life. I have made close friends, learned life-saving skills. Some of you may know or not know, but the fire department is a volunteer organization. When you call 911, it's a neighbor or friend that is coming to help. Imagine calling 911 and nobody shows up. Our community depends on volunteer firefighters and EMTs to respond when the calls come. Whether it's a fire, car accident, medical emergency, or even a storm. We're looking for everyday people, neighbors, co-workers, young adults, parents, even retirees, who are willing to step up, get trained, and help protect our community. Emergencies don't wait for the perfect time. With work, family, and other responsibilities, we need more people to share the load. You don't need experience. You don't need to be a superhero. You just need a heart, a willingness to learn, and a commitment to serve. As a volunteer, you'll receive free professional training, gain life-saving skills, and become part of a dedicated team. And more than that, you'll do something that matters, something that makes a real difference. Real quick, I just have some things, so for people that don't know. So originally was the Beekman Fire Protectors, which was formed in September of 1937. In 1939 was when we became the Beekman Fire Department. It was incorporated in 1957, and the first firehouse was actually in this building down below, was where our firehouse was. Our goal is to provide fire protection EMS services to more than the 14,000 residents that live within the square miles. We rely on volunteers. We don't just fight fires. We do fire prevention presentations at the elementary school, local daycares. We do CPR training. We show support at other community organized events. This is what the fire company itself is comprised of. So you have the engine company, which is, those are the guys and the girls that are going in fighting the fires. We set up landing zones for helicopters, ice water rescue, hazmat incidents, fire protection and, putting out fires. The rescue squad, we have our EMTs, our ambulance drivers who provide the life-saving skills. And we have our fire police. Those are the guys and the girls that are standing out there when there's a car accident and they're yelling at you, telling you can't go that way. That's what their job is. Their job is to keep us safe so that we can help the people that are injured. The fire company, the social side of it is a president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, and then a steward. And we have a chief, a first assistant chief, second assistant chief, 1 captain, and then 2 lieutenants. The rescue squad itself was organized in 1967, so that's also been around a while. The rescue squad officers are 1 captain, a lieutenant, and a secretary. This is our equipment that we have. So we have a ladder truck, we have a rescue pumper, an engine, tanker, our little brush truck, utility truck, and then our ambulance. This is what we use to protect the community. Just so you, for responses, so in 2022, we had 1,362 calls. That's EMS, fire, you name it, and so 1,362 people called 911. In 2022, 23, it was 1,335, and 2024, it was 1,237. Okay, so we did go down a little bit, which is a good thing. So benefits of joining. So we have a LOSAP program, which is basically, it's a tax-deferred retirement that you get for being a volunteer and completing the tasks that need to get done within that year. It's free training. You get a $200 tax credit from New York State. It's neighbors helping neighbors. So it's a great opportunity to get involved in something that could potentially save or change a person's life. And we also have gym reimbursement. So if you go to the gym, you get reimbursed. Don't need any prior training? We'll train you. There is no maximum age. Doesn't matter. The minimum age is 16. However, you can't go into the burning building until you're 18. That's New York State law. You don't have to run into burning buildings. You can be an exterior firefighter. You could be a driver, fire police member, or an EMS provider. There's lots of things for people to do. So why? One is our primary job is to keep people safe. Okay? We often see them at their worst. They're calling 911 because they need help. Okay? Whether it's a car accident, fire, medical emergency, or any type of accident or incident that happens. Okay? It gives you an opportunity to be a positive influence in your community. Okay? Again, we also help for different charity events. Find purpose. Right? We save lives in emergency situations. So if you're looking for something that can give you purpose, consider becoming a volunteer firefighter or EMT. They're community-based. Gives people the opportunity to get to know their neighbors, which could help build stronger communities and relationships. So stop at the firehouse any Monday night, and you could see what your fire company is all about and see how you can make a difference. So if you've ever wanted to give back, grow and challenge yourself in new ways, this is your chance. If it's not for you, maybe you know someone, a friend, a son, a daughter, a neighbor, who might be a great fit. You want to leave your mark? Volunteering as a firefighter, EMT, is one of the most direct ways to protect your neighbors and be a hero in your own community. We need you, your town needs you, when you answer the call. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Oh, sure, take your time. You don't need it? No. Okay. That was really a wonderful presentation and really an important appeal, because if they do not get a number of volunteers and people to come and help, unfortunately, they would have to move at some point to a paid fire department, which would impact all our taxes. So for all of the reasons that Heather gave, and also for trying to maintain that tax base, it would be something wonderful if people had free time and wanted to reach out to the fire department. Danny Plastini is going to give us a presentation, our rec director. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Not as good as that one. Hi, everybody. I'm Danny Plastini. I'm the Recreation Director. First up, I wanted to ask the town board. We've been contacted by the town of Dover summer camp. They have been unable to use their current swimming facility, and they are looking to us and to local swim facilities. They are currently using Red Wing in East Fishkill on Tuesdays and Pauling on Thursdays, and they would like to come to the town of Beekman on Wednesdays. The town of Dover has provided a certificate of insurance naming the town of Beekman as an additional insured. They will be bringing about 100 campers and their counselors as well as lifeguards. Our lifeguards will be primary. Their counselors and lifeguards will be in the water with the children and keeping an extra set of eyes out. The town will not incur any additional payroll as the Beekman Rec Beach is currently open during the hours that they would be here. And we already have lifeguards scheduled. Dover has filed their plan with the Department of Health, and which has approved their plan, and I have spoken to our DOH person who also has approved the plan. They would like to start tomorrow. I know it's kind of short notice, but, so we would really like for you guys to approve that. Does anyone have any questions regarding that?
We can facilitate all those people with the people we have going there?
We can. We have a 400-person capacity.
Perfect.
And our campers are on a separate beach, so it wouldn't interrupt with our campers at all.
Great.
Anyone else? No? Okay. I'm just going to recap a couple of things going for July for the rec department. At the beginning of June, we did our Relay for Life, which was at Town Center Park, and I just want to say that thank you to all that participated and helped us collect. We raised almost over $14,000 for the Relay for Life for all cancers. It was a really great event. We had a lot of great weather. It was awesome. In June, we also did an emergency preparedness class, which was done by MediServe, a corp of Dutchess County, which was well attended. We had over 55 people attend. I'm working with them to schedule an event for September, which would be in the evening, so hopefully more residents can attend. It was great. All the participants got a red backpack when they left with some emergency preparedness stuff inside. It was awesome. Due to the hot weather this year, at the end of June, we were able to get our staff to pull together and open the beach a week early. And all our residents were very happy for that. They had a place to go when it was really hot at the end of June. Currently, we have 116 memberships for the lake, which is great. It's a little more than we had at this time last year, so we're looking forward to the beach really being back to the way it used to be back in the day. We are also working with families that asked us to change the times of the beach. So we're opening on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 11 a.m. and we stay open on Thursdays and Fridays to 8 p.m. to accommodate working families as well as parents that stay home. We are doing swim lessons, which are going awesomely. Unfortunately, this year we did not have a swim team. We did not have enough participants, which is sad because we were just starting to get that back up, but we are running a level 5 swim class, which is providing directions for the different strokes for swimming, so hopefully they'll be ready next year to join the swim team again. This Thursday, July 24th, we're having our 4th annual Dog Days of Summer annual barbecue for our seniors. We currently have 75 registered participants. It's going to be a fun day. For anyone that is interested in going to the Dutchess County Free Picnic for Seniors, which is combined with LaGrange at Freedom Park on Wednesday, August 20th, you do have to call to register. The number is 845-486-2555, and you do have to pre-register. We have our senior trip that we just sold out, was for Resorts World Casino on August 13th. The trip sold out in 2 hours. There was people knocking down the doors, I kid you not. Our next trip is August 4th. Registration starts at 10 a.m. for residents. It's the Hudson River Cruise and a lunch in Kingston. Camp is running and it's in full swing. We are at capacity for sessions 2, 3, and 4, which again is back to pre-COVID numbers. We're all very happy about that. We have a wonderful staff. Our counselors are working on the campers are working on finding some counselors that have been shipwrecked on an island, but we are finding them. It's going great for everyone. We also had a demonstration last week with Dutchess County Deputy O'Brien and K9 Bolt, and a reuse recycle program by Dutchess County Waste Management. The kids love the programs, all free from the community. Our next summer concert, which is at Town Center Park, will be August 1st. We'll have Gen Extra Band with Hudson Valley Gyro. And also this Friday coming up is our Fun Friday at Rec Park, which starts at 6 o'clock. You can enjoy swimming in the lake, grab some s'mores, play some lawn games, and dance. Lastly, if anyone is still interested in purchasing a flag at Remembrance Park, the flags will be displayed again from September 10th through Veterans Day. And you can stop by our office or call my office if you would like to purchase one. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Danny. We appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to run through the agenda items. Resolution number 1 is the extending the moratorium on the development of large-scale battery energy storage systems installation. We had attended in the last couple of months some local events that were held to give some information. Most of that information was on the positive side of allowing these storage systems. So we really need to get a balance in the next 6 months and hear both sides of the issue. We met with Councilman Battellini, attended a meeting with local firefighting experts. We've consulted with the other town supervisors, with the Dutchess County Mayors and Supervisors Association. We attended a county planning workshop on BESS and the town code zones. So we just need some more information. I think some of the balance we can get from some of the towns south of us who have taken a stand and are a little bit ahead of us in terms of the moratoriums on these systems. And we're going to reach out to them and continue to analyze the potential impacts before we make a decision. So that is resolution number 1. Resolution number 2 is approving the emergency repairs for recreation playgrounds. At this point, all of our playgrounds will have either been upgraded, repaired, or replaced. Resolution number 3 is our housekeeping budget revisions. And number 4, correction was needed from the last town board meeting with a board appointments term. Resolution number 5 is we're amending our resolution for climate smart community that we had done the last time. New York State Climate Smart Communities requested that we use their language verbatim, which we said the same things, but not exactly the way that they wanted. So we have changed it, and we are using their language, and I'm hoping that's going to be able to allow us to move forward. Resolution number 6 is authorizing the installation of a security fence around the Beekman landfill property. At an earlier meeting, we discussed that we were having some issues with damage by all-terrain vehicles, children, affecting the cap of the landfill. We reached out to DEC to have them come in and inspect it and give us their analysis of what they would like us to do, and they deemed it necessary and in the best interest of the residents to install a fence around the perimeter of the landfill. And so we're going to do that. And then resolution number 7, we're closing out some capital projects, the town hall generator, the rec pond improvement project, making the weir permanent. Resolution number 8, we're going out to bid for garage doors, replacement, minor repairs, and all required electrical improvements to the highway garage building project. Number 9, we're authorizing a direct payment for vehicle damages for Susan Stevens in the interest of saving the municipality. There were some alleging damages resulting on her vehicle from hitting a standalone short wooden post near an area in and around the pavilion in Town Center Park. Whereas our deductible is $5,000, we felt that making the payment for a partial repair for $2,500 was a financially prudent course of action for the town at this point. And we were advised by the town attorney that it would be prudent. Resolution number 10, we're authorizing the emergency intermunicipal agreement for the recreational lake access with the town of Dover that Danny had spoke of. Our neighbors to the north requested assistance, and we're happy to help, I hope. The children, we'd love the children in Dover to have an enjoyable summer. I think it was a big disappointment when the lake that they normally use at the last minute wasn't accessible for them. And they are going to other towns and using their facilities as well. Let's see. Resolution number 11 is the sale of 2 trucks at auction. And resolution number 12 is our payment of claims. And at this point, Bill Crane.
Bill Crane, 254 Gardner Hollow Road. I want to thank you for Resolution 5 and persisting with this climate smart resolution. I know that Merson has been an advocate of it for the lighting, the field lights, which will save a lot of money if we have that climate smart acceptance, and we have a better chance of getting the grants, and that could save a lot of money for the ball field lights. I want to mention pet projects, 4 pet projects that I would like to see myself, which would take some money. One is to apply. There's an offering to apply for a plan to plan and buy equipment for reducing road salt in the winter. So that would be expensive in the short run, but with a grant that we might have a better chance of getting through the climate smart membership, we could probably do that. In other words, take some actions that would reduce the harm to the trees and to the wildlife that road salt inflicts. I think another project I would like to put before you is to replant trees that were lost on Route 55. Every town that I visited over the years that is known as a pretty town has at some point when you come in a canopy of large trees that kind of form over it. And we were getting there, and I just like to see an effort made to beautify our town. And it's already lovely, but just make it more attractive and beautiful in that way. Another project that could be pursued is the mill house. I think that for attracting tourists and beefing up our economy a little bit, the mill house restoration would be really a nice thing to do. It's a lovely place that has a lot of history to it, and it could tell people about what our town is like. And the fourth one, the final one I'd mention is we put money into replenishing the parks, and I'm sure Danny is real pleased with it, and I am too, the playgrounds. If we could just add some trees and vegetation. I've been working on articles on how kids benefit from the natural environment, and one thing they benefit from trees, I love trees for the action they provide, like climbing them, but for resting under in shade and resting a time to rest and think and so on. If we could have some additional vegetation and some trees for children to help them relax and enjoy and feel calm and at peace and comforted. Trees are a comforting source for children. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay, we could get started, Merson.
Great. Good evening. Resolution authorizing a moratorium on the development of large-scale battery energy storage systems installations. Whereas on October 22nd of 2024, the town board adopted a moratorium on the development of large-scale battery energy storage system installations, finding that the town code does not adequately regulate such facilities and that such facilities have the potential to create risks to public health and safety and adverse impacts on the environmental resources and neighborhood character, which potential impacts and changes need to be better understood. And whereas the initial moratorium lasted for 9 months and it will soon expire, And whereas since the initial moratorium was enacted, the town has taken multiple steps to gather information and evaluate options for regulating large-scale battery energy storage systems installations, known as BESS, meeting with local firefighting experts, consulting with other town supervisors via the Dutchess County Mayors and Supervisors Association, and attending a county planning workshop on BESS and town zoning codes. And whereas additional research is planned in coming months, including reaching out to the Beekman Fire District Chief and hosting a joint meeting with the town fire district representatives. And whereas to enable the town board to continue its analysis of potential impacts and determination whether legislative action is required, it is necessary to preserve the status quo as to the approval and development of the large-scale battery energy storage systems installations. And whereas the town board hereby determines that it is in the best interest of the citizens and property owners of the town of Beekman to continue a temporary moratorium on the acceptance and processing of applications for the consideration and approval by the town planning board of site plans and special use permits for large-scale battery energy storage systems installations. The issuance of building permits, therefore, and the consideration, approval, and issuance of building permits, therefore, and the consideration, approval, and issuance by the Zoning Board of Appeals, and variances and interpretations relating to large-scale battery energy storage systems installations for an additional period of 6 months. And whereas the town board determines that the proposed action is a type 2 action not subject to environmental review pursuant to 6 NYCRR section 617.5 C36. Now therefore be it resolved that the recitations above set forth are incorporated in this resolution as if fully set forth and adopted herein. And be it resolved that the town board of the town of Beekman does hereby waive the verbatim reading of said local law.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Cavallari?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Kavuchi?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Resolution number 2, approve emergency repairs for recreation playgrounds. Whereas the 2 playgrounds at the Recreation Center, through years of use, are in need of some repairs, and whereas in accordance with the town's procurement policy, this action is deemed to be an emergency, and whereas a quote was received from Playground Medic, 50 Broadway, Hawthorne, New York, 10532, for the removal and disposal of the old playground parts and the installation of the new replacement playground parts. And whereas the equipment and improvements at Rec Park are a replacement in kind, which is a type 2 action under secret pursuant to 6 NYCRR 61731, and does not have a significant impact on the environment. Now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor is authorized to sign a quote from Playground Medic, 50 Broadway, Hawthorne, New York, in an amount not to exceed $34,893 for the items as specified.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Cavallari?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Kavuchi?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Approved Town of Beekman Budget Revisions Number 2025-7. Whereas the Town of Beekman's Accounting Office recommends certain budget revisions based on department requests and/or accounting office review and analysis of expenditures and revenues, now therefore be it resolved that the following itemized revisions are approved by the Town of Beekman Town Board, identified as Budget Revision Number 2025-7 as follows.
I'll second that.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Cavallari?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Kavuchi?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Resolution number 4, correct board appointment term to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Whereas by Resolution 6/23/25-2, the Town of Beekman Town Board appointed Dave Garland to the Zoning Board of Appeals. And whereas the end date of his term was incorrectly stated, now therefore be resolved that the Town of Beekman Town Board does hereby make the following appointment. David Garland to the Zoning Board of Appeals with a term to expire December 31st, 2028, and be it further resolved that all appointments are contingent upon completion and submission of the disclosure of interest statement pursuant to Chapter 19-9 of the Town Code, and be it further resolved that all appointments shall file their oath of office with the Town Clerk of the Town of Beekman prior to serving their term.
I'll second that.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Cavallari?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilman Lima?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas the town of Beekman, hereinafter local government, believes that creating a climate-smart community will benefit the residents, and whereas we believe that our response to climate-smart communities provides us with an unprecedented opportunity to save money and to build livable, energy-dependent, and secure communities, vibrant innovation economies, healthy and safe schools, and resilient infrastructures. And whereas the town of Beekman wishes to protect the rural nature of our community and provide actions that will assist in having the town of Beekman address issues and create solutions in moving forward in the future with the best interest of the community always at the forefront of decision-making. It is hereby resolved that the town of Beekman, in order to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and adapt to a changing climate, adopts the New York State Climate Smart Communities Pledge, which comprises the following 10 elements. 1, build a climate-smart community. 2, inventory emissions, set goals, and plan for climate action. 3, decrease energy use. 4, shift to clean, renewable energy. 5, use climate-smart materials management. 6, implement climate-smart land use. 7, enhance community resilience to climate change. 8, support a green innovation economy. 9, inform and inspire the public. And 10, engage in an evolving process of climate action.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Capillari?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilman Lima?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Resolution authorizing the installation of a security fence around the Beekman landfill property. Whereas the town of Beekman owns and operates a landfill facility located at 110 Pleasant Ridge Road, commonly known as tax map parcel number 6859-00-265016, and further identified as New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, NYSDEC, site number 14S06. I don't know if that's an O or a 0. 14S06. And whereas the town board recognizes the importance of securing the landfill property to protect public health and safety, prevent unauthorized access, dumping, and damage to the facilities, and deter potential hazards. And whereas unauthorized access by all-terrain and other motorized vehicles over the past several months has damaged the cap of the landfill, requiring repairs by the town, including installation of a temporary construction fence, and mandated security upgrades to the fence, which are required by the New York State DEC per email as of April 9th, 2025. And whereas the town board deems it necessary and in the best interest of the residents of the town to install a fence around the perimeter of the landfill property for security and safety purposes and for continued compliance with New York State DEC Part 360 requirements. And whereas the proposed fence will be of height and materials acceptable to the New York State DEC, designed to adequately secure the premises while complying with all applicable local, state, and federal regulations regarding fencing on public property and around landfill facilities. And whereas the town board has reviewed the proposed fence location and acknowledges that all required permits and approvals will be obtained before commencement of the installation, including but not limited to the New York State DEC and any other relevant agencies. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board of the town of Beekman as follows. State Environmental Quality Review Act compliance. The town board hereby deems this type 2 action in accordance with Part 617.5 C2 replacement, rehabilitation or reconstruction of a structure or facility in kind on same site, including upgrading buildings to meet building, energy, or fire codes unless such action meets or exceeds any of the thresholds in section 617.4 of this part, thereby concluding the secret process. Approval of installation. The town board hereby approves the installation of a security fence around the Beekman landfill property located at 110 Pleasant Ridge Road, tax map parcel number 6859-00-265016, consistent with the location presented to the town board, which is generally the same location as existed at the time of the original landfill closure. Authorization of funds. The town board authorizes the supervisor to allocate and expend the necessary funds for the purchase and installation of the fence as approved in the town budget or as otherwise determined necessary by the town board in an emergency capacity to ensure that the work is completed in a timely manner to maintain compliance with the New York State DEC requirements. Authorization to obtain permits. The town supervisor and/or other designated town officials are hereby authorized to take all necessary steps to obtain any required permits and approvals from relevant agencies, including the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, to ensure the legal and proper installation of the fence. The authorization for contract. The town board authorizes the supervisor to enter into a contract with a qualified vendor for the purchase and installation of the fence, subject to review and approval by the town attorney as to form and content. And this resolution shall take effect immediately.
I'll second that.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Cavallari?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Okay, Resolution 7 to close capital project funds. Whereas the town of Beekman authorized various capital project funds to make improvements to equipment and facilities, and whereas the GASB and GAAP best practices recommends the official closing of capital projects by the governing body, and whereas the following completed capital projects summarized now should be officially closed, and the disposition of the unexpended balances approved as follows. The capital project improvement description was the town hall generator. The budget for that was $90,000. Final expenses were $87,000. Unexpended balance was $3,000, which will be returned to the general fund. The Rec Pond Improvement Project, it was budgeted for $250,000. The final expenses were $215,000. The unexpended balance is $35,000, which will be returned to the general fund. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Beekman officially approves the closing of the above capital projects with the unexpended balances returned to the general fund designated for capital projects use.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Cavallari?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas the town engineer has requested that the town board authorize Michael R. Berter, AIA Project Architect, to release a request for bids package on or about July 23, 2025, for the purpose of releasing bidding documents related to the garage door replacement, minor repairs, and all required electrical improvements to the highway garage building project. Now therefore be it resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized to seek bids for the improvements to the highway garage building, number 1 and number 2. Whereas the equipment and improvements to highway garage number 1 and number 2 are replacement in kind, which is a type 2 action under secret pursuant to 6 NYCRR 617.531 and does not have a significant impact on the environment. Be it further resolved that prior to publication, bid documents are to be reviewed by the town engineer and town attorney. And be it further resolved that the requests for the bids shall be in accordance with the town of Beekman procurement policy. Now therefore be it resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized to advertise for bids for the improvements to the highway garage number 1 and 2 as attached here within in the Poughkeepsie Journal, on the bulletin board in the town clerk's office, and on the homepage of the town of Beekman website.
I'll second that.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Cavallari?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Resolution number 9. Whereas a claim for damages to a vehicle owned by Susan Stevens or claimant of 236 Pleasant Ridge Road, Poquag, New York, 12570, was submitted to the town of Beekman on March 26, 2025, alleging damages resulting from her vehicle hitting a standalone short wooden post near the area and around the pavilion on Tuesday, March 25, 2025, at approximately 7 p.m. at Town Center Park in Poquag, New York. And whereas the town and/or legal counsel has investigated the circumstances surrounding this claim, and the town board has determined that each party could be found partially responsible for the damages incurred by a claimant, and whereas the estimated cost of the repairs to claimant's vehicle range from $4,353.07 to $5,570.84, as evidenced by the repair estimates attached hereby as Exhibit A, and whereas the deductible on the town's municipal liability insurance policy exceeds the claim, making further litigation of this matter an ineffective use of town resources and monies, and whereas the town board has determined that a payment of claimant for the partial repair cost of $2,500 represents a financially prudent course of action for the town, as it avoids the insurance deductible and reduces administrative overhead associated with litigations in this property claim. And whereas the town board finds it to be in the best interest of the town and its taxpayers to resolve this claim amicably and efficiently, and recognizes the inconvenience caused to Ms. Stevens, now therefore be it resolved by the town board of the town of Beekman that the town supervisor is hereby authorized to enter into a settlement agreement with Susan Stevens for the payment of vehicle damages in the amount not to exceed $2,500. And the town financial department is hereby authorized and directed to issue a check in the amount of $2,500 payable to Susan Stevens upon the execution of the full release of all claims related to the property damage incident involving Susan Stevens. The town attorney is authorized to draft and execute any necessary documents to effectuate this settlement, including release of claims. Effective date for all this resolution shall take effect immediately.
I'll second that.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Cavallari?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Mormon?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Whereas the town of Dover has experienced an unforeseen event or emergency necessitating temporary alternative recreational facilities for its residents and particularly its campers, and whereas the town of Beekman possesses a recreational lake called Beekman Rec Lake located at 29 Recreation Road, Poquag, New York, 12570, hereinafter referred to as the lake, that may be suitable for temporary use by campers from the town of Dover, and whereas intermunicipal cooperation is encouraged by the state of New York to enhance the effectiveness and efficiency of local government service delivery, and whereas General Municipal Law Article 5-G, Section 1190, or O, I'm sure, authorizes municipalities to enter into agreements for the performance of their respective functions, powers, and duties on a cooperative or contract basis. And whereas the Town Board of Beekman has determined that providing temporary recreational lake access to campers from the town of Dover is in the best interest of regional cooperation and community well-being while ensuring the safety and enjoyment of residents of Beekman. And whereas the proposed intermunicipal agreement is for temporary access 1 day per week for the next 3 consecutive weeks, and the parties intend to provide for a cost allocation, if any, liability, and other necessary provisions. And whereas the town of Dover has provided insurance and liability waivers that are acceptable to the town of Beekman, now therefore be it further resolved that the supervisor, upon review and approval of the final intermunicipal agreement by legal counsel, is authorized to execute the agreement on behalf of the town of Beekman, duly adopted this 22nd day of July 2025 by the Town Board of the Town of Beekman.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Councilman Cavallari?
Aye.
Councilman Badalini?
Aye.
Councilman Limak?
Aye.
Councilwoman Mormon?
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci?
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Danny, I have the agreement. Could you send it to the rec director and see if she could get it signed prior? The rec director, can you give this to her and ask her to have the supervisor sign it prior, or bring it with her or whatever? Oh, that's even better. Okay. But they have to have it signed.
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay,
Resolution to authorize sale of equipment at auction. Whereas the Highway Department has 2 vehicles that are no longer of use to the department and are in need of repair and can be sold. And whereas the Town Board is desirous in disposing of the following equipment. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board hereby authorizes Tony Coviello, the Highway Superintendent, to place these items for sale at auction, with the proceeds going to the Reserve for Equipment DA-0882. A 1986 Ford N8M, VIN number 1FDYR8OU2 GVA 60493, and one 2008 Ford F-350 Super Duty XLT utility body VIN number 1FD WF37R08E A02193.
I will second that.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Capillari.
Aye.
Councilman Matalini.
Aye.
Councilman Lima.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 12, payment of claims. Whereas the bookkeeper has audited and approved claims pursuant to Section 119 of Town Law as set forth in the attached abstracts. Be it resolved that the payment therefore is hereby authorized as follows. Claims to be paid from the A General Fund, $239,355.81. Claims to be paid from the DA Highway Fund, $393,010.34. Claims to be paid from the SS Dover Ridge Sewer, $6,848.99. Claims to be paid from the SW Dover Ridge Water, $946.68. Claims to be paid from the T-Trust Fund, $3,921.52. Claims to be paid from the H Capital Fund, $229,548.80, for a total of $873,632.14. Payroll number 14, on July 3rd, 2025, out of the general fund, $47,950.56. Out of the highway fund, $24,260.93, for a total of $72,211.49. The July 17th payroll number 15, out of general fund, $67,595.29. Out of the highway fund, $24,019.51, for a total of $91,614.80.
I'll second that.
Town board discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilman Capillari.
Aye.
Councilman Matalini.
Aye.
Councilman Lima.
Aye.
Councilwoman Warman.
Aye.
Supervisor Cavucci.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Okay, Sharon, I think you had something.
I do. I just want to reiterate what Danny had said. The Office of the Aging is offering a picnic for Beekman, Town of Beekman residents Wednesday, August 20th, 11:30 a.m. at Freedom Park, 212 Skidmore Road, LaGrangeville. They are accepting reservations by phone, 845-486-2555. Monday through Friday, between the hours of 9 to 5.
Thanks. Anybody else? No? Okay. Then let's start public comment. Murray?
The sun is coming.
I'm Murray Johnson. I reside at 54 Roosevelt Drive in Poquay. I recently went through the county ledge's minutes from January to May, and I found some interesting things that the residents really should be aware of what's going on in the county. First, you could go to the county at duchessnewyork.gov and find all kinds of stuff. The minutes can be up to 600 pages, so it may take a while, and I'm going to post the links for everything I'm talking about on the Beekman Positive Facebook page. At the top of the page is a report of what the county is going to do to address the increase in 911 and EMS calls countywide. It looks pretty thorough, but needs to be implemented. Susurino published the 2025 State of the County Annual Report. Website will be listed also, and page 24 is the detail of the Comptroller's Report. A very thorough environmental management report is also there, and it's interesting reading for anybody who's concerned about energy use, conservation, and mitigation of the effects of climate change. The county announced $3 million in affordable housing grants that were available, but you had to make the request by June 9th. To my knowledge, our current legislator did not communicate that, and therefore no funds were allocated to Beekman. The former YMCA complex in Poughkeepsie has been closed for years. $25 million in funds were pledged by the county supervisor Molinaro at the time. $8.5 million was approved by the legislature, and $5 million has been spent so far. After that, the estimate was done by Molinaro of what it was actually going to cost to implement, $114 million. Why this was not done before, he said he was going to give $25 million, I don't know, that seems kind of weird. The project was put on hold by Serino in 2024 because of that, and to her credit, that 114 has now been reduced to about 50 million, and she has also identified grants and donations to make up that 50 million. The comptroller published a report on that. Again, I'll give you the link. The minutes reported on the approval of several highway projects in the county. I didn't see any request for Beekman, don't know why, so I have to assume that no money was requested and therefore none was allocated to us. The county passed, or rather Dan Amor Blair is our current comptroller. He's been circulating throughout the county explaining to residents what the comptroller's office does and get input from people about, things that they're interested in. I think that's great. I'm asking the board to invite him to come to Beekman, and if you don't, I will. This kind of communication is very helpful to residents of the county. It forces accountability for promises made but not kept. Keeping information from residents only indicates you can't justify your actions. Although the town attorney has made it clear residents don't have the right to speak at these meetings, as there is no New York law, and he's right, by the way, there is a New York open meetings law which requires the public to have the right to attend meetings of public bodies like this.
Thank you.
And
That
to
was
listen
3
to
minutes,
debate.
Murray.
And,
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Barbara, Bill Crane.
Yep, Bill, you want to finish?
Bill Crane, again. Murray was worried that she couldn't get under 3 minutes, so asked me to just make a comment. I have a couple comments, but make sure that her comment is taken about the public comment period. The town lawyer was right that it's not it's not in the state law. However, it seems to be the public comment period there. Every town, I've been to several around Dover, Paulding, the town of Poughkeepsie, Unionvale, they all have public comment periods, and it seems to me that embodies a spirit of democracy. This is where people come and talk to the board, and you hear what the people are thinking, and it's like the town hall. This is where, the federal government, I don't have any contact with them. You send them a letter and you get a formal response, but here we come and we talk, and it seems to me this is a democracy in action, and it's precious, and it might not be in the state law, but it should be. I handed out, a second item I wanted to bring up was there's an article in the New York Times about the flash floods that have had devastating consequences, and they've been all over the country. It's flash flood season. One of the variables that leads to flash flooding is impervious surfaces, hard surfaces where the water can't get into the ground. This is the finding of the scientists. And as the atmosphere gets warmer every year, warm air holds water in, and then more comes down, and if it can't be absorbed by the ground, by natural soil, then it moves, and you get the results. And we have some, I know on our property we have some flooding that comes. We have had flash floods that come down. We're spending a huge amount of money trying to keep the soil from coming into our barns, and about the bridge, and so that's we have the potential for floods, and so I'd say the town should do everything they can to keep the absorbent soils, not pave over everything. I hope citizens will listen to that. And finally, I want to, and the board will, and the organizers, planners will. Finally, I want to mention something. I'm still very upset about the Savannah Estates. I went at the last planning board, and I got the impression that some, but not all of the members kind of happy with the mitigation plan, and I'm not. I don't, how much carbon dioxide that contributes to global warming was added to the air by cutting down 45, 51, however you count them, 63 extra trees cutting down, I mean, how many wildlife lost their homes?
Thank you, Bill, that was 3 minutes. Okay, at this time, I make a motion to close the town board meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
What time?
6:50.